Okay, so this is the last exercise we're going to do today. The first one is from the tombe system that we showed you with the hands going forward and back. The next two are from Master Dong Bin's foundation exercises, which through his lineage through Yue Hanzhe and Dong Shizhou, who are both students of Dong Yinjie. So that's through their lineage, the last two that we just did. And this is also from the same 26 foundation exercise system that we also teach at Double Dragon Alliance, or DDA. So this last one is also particularly for the waist and the spine, really stretching through the body, but some variations, but again, our legs aren't moving, so there's no steps to learn. It's just the change of the body and the sinking or stretching that we're doing throughout the upper body. Okay, but this one has a slightly wider stance, so more like a sort of a horse stance. So if we take a slightly wider stance here, imagine a horse stance, feet parallel, okay? If you find that very uncomfortable to turn the toes inwards, if that makes your knees sort of knock inwards, then the toes can be just very slightly outwards, but try to get the toes to point inwards as much as you can. Think first of all of sort of sitting into the hips a little bit, so don't need to bend the knees very low. Just imagine if you were just resting your hips on the edge of a bar stool or something like that. So that's as low as you need to go. So we'll just run through the movements first. Okay, so our hands are going to be out to the sides. So we're not trying to stretch too much here, but try to make this sort of slight angle between the wrist and the forearm. And instead of pointing outwards, we're going to turn the palms to face forward. So tuck this thumb next to the forefinger. Okay. So from here, we're going to bend forward from the waist and sit back into the haunches a little bit. Then again, stretch the fingers forwards, look up, sit back into the haunches, so a bit like before, stretching between the fingertips and the bottom. Drop your head to look down. Raise up, but don't stand upwards with the feet, with the legs. Keep the legs in the same posture. Then as the hands drop down, come back to starting posture, sort of sit more into the hips again. So bend, push back into the haunches, stretch the arms forwards, looking forwards with the eyes, stretch the fingertips, drop the head down so your back is straight, stretch again. Imagine you're being lifted up by the fingertips. Try not to kind of stand upwards in the legs though, and then drop the hands out to the sides and sit down into the hips a bit more. Okay, one more. Bend. Stretch the hands out forwards, fingertips stretching forwards, stretching away from the buttocks. Drop the head, stretch again, lift up. Imagine being lifted up and then drop back down into the hips. Okay, so if we do this from the side, so this is a good strong exercise for the legs and the haunches. So bend from the waist. So we want to bend from here, from the hips, like this. Okay, so you're not sort of bending forwards from the upper back. Hands stretch forwards, sit back into the haunches, drop the head, lift up. Imagine you're being lifted up by the fingertips and then dropped down into the hips. And again. Stretch, lift up, drop down. Okay, so this exercise you'll feel real good burn in the legs and the haunches, but you can see again this stretching through the spine, dropping down. So that's a very important component, that you're not bending or moving various joints in the back. You're like a sort of almost like a machine, but then dropping down into the hips. So if I just explain in Chinese, 我们是这个动作就是主要是我们要的动作，我们是不是背不是颈椎的，用腰去动了啊。这个现在是一个马步，是稍微宽一点的动作啊。 还是跟我们平时动作一样的，就是脚要平的，脚要内扣，好吧？但是不要太低，就是一个马步不要做的太低啊，就是坐在胯上，胯要松下去，训练顶筋，气沉丹田，这个都是一样的啊。现在手的动作，手和手臂有一点对吧？但是这个动作手往前，手掌是往前，不是往侧边的，是往前。这个大拇指跟手粘住。现在是弯腰，这个从腰弯下去，不是背勾起来了啊。手弯腰，手往前，坐在屁股上，胯往后，手指往前，先往前看，然后手低，再对吧？现在把从手指被拎起来了，脚不要上去啊，手在侧边坐下去，这个坐腰，弯腰，伸腰，对吧啊？拎腰，站腰，坐腰，好吧？这个是往侧边做啊，就是脚、胯、臀部都会有点累啊。弯腰，你坐下去啊，手往前伸腰，这个要对把的啊。先眼睛往前看，然后头低下去，再对把，拎腰，把从手指好像拎起来，但是不要站起来啊。现在两个手往外，坐腰，再来一个啊。站腰，站起来，但是脚不要往上站起来，手下去，坐腰。所以这个应该是好累的一个动作，现在我做完了啊，这个应该是很累的动作，但是看上去很简单，但是主要是，站腰的时候不要站起来，就是腰被拎起来，然后再坐下去。要坐腰的时候，把胯松下去，腰不能弹下去，还是拎的，但是胯松下去，有这个对把劲的感觉，好吧？这个动作比较累，但是对身体也好处。So this is a strong exercise. So although it looks very simple, you'll get a good workout, and I'm sort of sweating now. But I hope you'll enjoy the exercises. Just 4, but hope they will help you combat some of the problems from working at home and sitting for such long periods of time. And I do hope everybody stays healthy and fit and stays positive. We're all sort of fighting COVID-19, so let's make sure we stay healthy and fit when we are at home, so that when everything is back to normal, we'll be full and ready to go in our normal lives. So don't forget, drop a like for Rose in China, our YouTube channel, and see you next time. Thanks for watching.